Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. API management and lifecycle is one of the major characteristics of SOAJS Enterprise. Service-oriented architecture is proven to be the enabler of the digital world. Enterprises are moving from middleware approach into implementing SOA enterprise-wide. A complete and comprehensive API management and lifecycle is becoming one of the main pillars to modernize and achieve IT transformation. SOAJS Enterprise offers a complete and flexible solution capable to support any framework while providing API productization, multi-tenancy, multi-layer security, gateway, and simulation. Our API Builder automatically generates enterprise-grade API on top of any layer to modernize and avoid reinventing the wheel. Let's see how our API management and lifecycle works. After creating a project on Herron Tech, click and open the dashboard. Then, go to the Develop tab. Connect your source code from any Git repo and start turning on services. For this service, I will select the master branch and turn it on. SOAJS Enterprise will automatically detect all the APIs that come with this service without regard to the framework you used to write its source code. I'll turn on another service written in Java. It doesn't matter whether the source code is written in PHP, Java, Node.js, or .NET, you'll be able to turn it on and modernize. SOAJS Enterprise will automatically build your API catalog. As you can see here, these are the services we added and their corresponding API. Let's expand the Java service and augment its capabilities. For each environment, you'll be able to turn on and off certain features that you need and did not originally come with your API. You can add OAuth, you can add key security, ACL, and so on and so forth. The API catalog comes with native Swagger support. By selecting the Swagger icon, the API simulator opens and you'll be able to test your API by environment and by tenant. Let me show you how. This is the Express server. Let's select the dev environment since it is deployed there, and let's select a tenant to test. I will explain the multi-tenancy later on in this video. Click on List Operations to view the APIs, expand one of them, fill up the form, and click Try, and you will be able to simulate and test this API in multi-tenant and multi-environment fashion. Our SOAJS Enterprise comes with a unique and powerful API builder to help you build APIs from scratch. You can build services, and we're unique because you'll be able to download the source code of that service and augment it at will. You can also create endpoints API and with a click of a button. Publish and deploy. Our API Builder Wizard comes with our unique IMFV WYSIWYG, where you can add routes, add parameters, and authentications. You have full control over the service configuration, and you'll enjoy the multi-model capabilities where you can link your API to MongoDB, Elasticsearch, or any other database like Oracle or PostgreSQL, and so on and so forth. You can add as many models as needed. If your service needs to communicate at the same time, for example with MongoDB and Oracle. You can automatically generate endpoint APIs on top of existing layers that you may have, like SOAP, for example, by providing its WSDL configuration. This is an endpoint API generated automatically out of the SOAP layer that comes with the Granta system. You can plug in different authentications at the route level by clicking on the lock icon. As you can see here, you have a choice between a basic SOAP authentication, OAuth, or other type of authentication needed to communicate with the layer you are adding the endpoint API on. You can easily add and edit parameters or inputs to your API. For example, this is a table filter. It's a string, it's not required, and the source is coming from either the query, the body, or the params. Someone might provide you the table filter data either in the query parameters or bundled as part from the body parameters, or it's part of the header. Once you have completed defining and configuring your endpoints, click on Save, and you will be able to see your API under the catalog. This is a Granta endpoint API service. You can now deploy this service in any environment, and you can augment its capabilities per environment. For example, you can add OAuth, key security, and so on and so forth. You'll be able to browse the different type of APIs under the catalog and augment their capabilities as well as modernize your existing APIs. Once you have completed building, creating, loading, or modernizing your API, you can go to the Deploy tab, select an environment, and start deploying in this environment. In the dev environment, we have a couple of APIs deployed. Let's check the Express service. It's deployed in this environment. This is a Node.js service. I can also deploy Java, PHP, or .NET service in this environment. It doesn't matter which framework you used to write the source code. The SOAJS API Gateway is capable of adapting and supporting multiple frameworks. Let's click on the Manage tab. This is where you can productize. Productization means creating products and packages and deciding which API you want to bundle in that product per environment. For example, for the dev environment, I'll make the following API available with the following restriction. Think of your API as blocks deployed in an environment, and by productizing, you are packaging different API and forming different products as well as applying security and restrictions. Once productization is finished, you'll be able to start inviting tenants and provide them with access to these products. For this demo, I have created a couple of tenants where I turned on OAuth for some and turned it off for others. For example, this tenant does not need an access token to access the API. A tenant key is needed for every API call. An internal key is generated, and you can add multiple external keys where you can expire them on a certain date, you can apply device security to limit access to certain devices, and you can apply geographical location restrictions as well. You can bundle different configurations per environment, per key. When a tenant accesses the API using this key, the designated configuration will be present at the API request providing multi-tenant API capability. For example, the URX service sends emails and I want to change the subject, the template, the from email per tenant, per key, per environment, per product, and so on and so forth. For example, I want to have a customized welcome message for tenant A, and for tenant B, I want a different message. By linking the API business logic to the key configuration, I'll have a multi-tenancy API on steroids. Let me show you a diagram that illustrates the power of SOAJS multi-tenancy. The services layer consists of the deployed APIs and their corresponding contract. The products layer is the productization and packaging layer on top of these APIs, where you can decide which is public, which is private, and you can have a different configuration per package. The tenant layer consists of those that can access these APIs based on which package or product they have access to. For each package, you specify a key, and for that key, you can add multi-layer API security, device security, domain security, OAuth, and so on and so forth. You have full access control capabilities. You can also change the entire API contract at this level. For each tenant by key by overriding the service IMFV. For example, an API has 3 inputs: email, last name and first name, and last name is optional. You'll be able to overwrite the API contract and make last name to be required for this tenant and keep it optional for other tenants. At the consumers layer, you can be more granular at the user or group level in terms of security and multi-tenant configuration. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I invite you to watch the remaining videos where we demo other cool characteristics that SOAJS Enterprise is bringing to market. Thank you.